Hello Gemini, and welcome to Embrace the Moon Tarot and your August 2017 reading. So I was thinking, sitting here shuffling the cards a little bit and giving some contemplation to Geminis in general, and I just feel exhausted, but I feel like there's an emotional exhaustion. I mean, there's physical exhaustion, but I feel it's somehow very intrinsically connected to emotions somehow. I feel like there's a little bit of internal dialogue of when is it my turn. The waiting is creating some exhaustion for some reason, and it's not something that you've been focused on a lot, but recently it's kind of really created a narrative that you can't ignore any longer. And I feel that there's a good many of you emotionally, you feel like you're not getting back what you put out. You feel that you are a giver in so many ways, that you're a lover. And I don't mean this specifically from the standpoint of physically being a lover, as much as a lover in general. Like, you're just very loving to people. You're very giving with your love for so many people. And you just had this moment recently where you just felt very tired and maybe on the verge of being depleted, because you feel like you love and love and love and love, but you're not finding someone who is just as willing to give in as much abundance, and you're exhausted. You feel like you're tired of loving, and you're tired of giving that love, and you're tired of giving yourself the love you need to replenish your stores so that you can continue to give love to other people. And you're wondering, you're waiting, and you're frustrated because you're wondering, when is someone going to come in your life to give you the love in return, and in the same capacity to replenish your stores of love, so that you can continue loving and give love to that person as well. But you're still waiting for that person. And I feel like a good deal of you, it might have to do with an actual physical lover. Like, you really are seeking for that lover, that connection, who is physical, mental, spiritual, all the way around. And so then you just feel more whole because of how much they give to you, and then you can give back to them. And then of course your stores are constantly being fueled and filled, so you can continue to give to other people as well. And so some of you, it is an actual lover. But I do feel that there are some of you who might actually still have a lover, and that person is phenomenal, and you do feel connected to them. But you're also looking for that person who feeds you in a way that you can feel replenished and connect and feed to other people. And then I feel that there's a tiny pocket of you that you really do want a lover, but you'd be okay with that other connection too, at least for a little while. But yeah, that's where I'm feeling. I'm feeling like you feel like you are always loving people, and then you have to love yourself so that you can replenish that love, so you can continue loving people. And you love to love people. You love to give your love to people. You love extending yourself in that way. And you don't want to stop, but you're tired, because you're tired of you feel like you're the only one who is replenishing your own cups of love to be able to continue to give to people. So that's what I'm feeling right now. So that's kind of the Gemini vibrations that I have tapped into right now. So let's see what August 2017 may or may not have for you. Go ahead and finish shuffling. Okay, current energy, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, strength, possible obstacle, recent past, and potential future. All right, so I'm going to start with the recent past for you. And I feel that, like I said, regarding the energy that I was tapping into when I first started this video, I feel that just before that happened, you were actually feeling really good. So you might even be slightly confused as to what flipped the switch for you, because you were really good. You were really firm. You were really solid. you actually had moments not too long ago where you felt life is good. You may have even said to yourself, life is good. This is solid. This is good. I feel good. Like, I feel like everything is falling into place. Everything's going the way it's supposed to. And there's a part of you now that when you look back and you think about how this new dialogue has entered your head regarding needing or wanting or desiring this connection that fuels and feeds you emotionally, you're having a little bit of a struggle trying to connect. How did you get from feeling really good to now feeling like there's a part of you that's missing, or there's a hole in your life that needs to be filled? You are really struggling to find the connection, and I feel that for a lot of you, that was the connection. The very fact that you got to a point where you were able to look back and you stepped back and looked at your world as a whole, it was actually within that moment that you gave yourself room to look for what wasn't there, and you didn't recognize it at the time that was happening. But that's kind of what the transition was, why the transition occurred. I like to call it a real life foreshadowing. You know how when you read a book, and whether it's a mystery book or not, there'll be these little seeds that are planted, and you don't realize that it's foreshadowing of something that's just about to occur. A lot of times, I feel like when we have those revelations, that's kind of almost a foreshadowing of what's going to be disrupted soon in some way or another. So it was within that moment that the vibrations that led you to be like, ugh, I now see this hole in my life. You were already recognizing it without you even knowing it. And I don't know if you'll recognize what exactly was that triggered it, but that's just to let you know probably when some of this started. But it is also being recognized that you were at a point where you felt very solid, and now you feel like there's a portion of your life that needs to be filled. So we have Three of Wands, and I feel that this is your present energy, and I don't know how much this is actually where you are, as much as this is the universe, this is spirit letting you know that what you should be doing is just wait for it. I feel like this card is a message to you. It's not saying where you are, it's where the universe or spirit wants you to switch your focus, and that is to recognize, yes, you're waiting. Yes, they're acknowledging that you are waiting. Yes, there is acknowledgement that you desire, but you need to just be patient. These things come in good time, and if you want it to happen perfectly according to perfect design, then you need to wait. If you start taking action unnecessarily, yes, you may get what you want, but is it going to be as perfect? Is it going to be the perfect timing that you seek? You might actually, if you went out looking for that lover, as a scenario, if you went out looking for that lover, and you were taking action before you were supposed to, you might actually meet that person before they're ready, and therefore lose the opportunity to actually connect with them and make something out of it. And you may actually spoil it from ever happening as a result of it. So you have to bide your time. I feel like the Three of Wands is just an acknowledgement from the divine that yes, the waiting is exhausting. Yes, it's tiresome. Yes, you're tired of waiting, but be patient. It'll come. And even when you don't recognize the vibrations that's creating the future that allows for this to come, it will still come. And it'll come as it's supposed to fulfill your life as your life was supposed to be. But you have to just be patient and wait for it. If you go seeking, you'll probably find it. I'm not saying that you won't, but it probably won't be the fulfillment that you're looking for. So just be patient, and don't act out irrationally. Or spontaneous. Spontaneity is a good thing, but sometimes it can get us into trouble, and I feel that that's kind of what you're getting there. Don't be too spontaneous. So matter physically, like I said, I feel like that's just acknowledging, yes, they know, the universe, the great divine spirit, however you perceive the powers that be, they're acknowledging how you are exhausted of waiting and you really want to just get up and start moving this. This is just an acknowledgement. They get it. So physically, we have the Three of Cups reversed, and I feel that this is throwing back to that, and I might actually create some clarity regarding how you went from this to this physically. And I feel that this is your physical world, things within your life that creates your world that you exist in from a day-to-day basis. In this capacity for this specific reading, this is referencing your physical world from your day-to-day capacity. And we have the Three of Cups reversed. So I feel like you are feeling lack of support. And that is why you have gotten to a point where you feel like you're waiting for that connection, that lover that's going to feed and fuel you. Because you recognize that some of the support that you have, although it is good, it's not as full as you wish it was. So you're feeling, and I feel like that you're in this moment of feeling that you don't have support. You're having moments of not recognizing the support that you have. But even when you do take the moment to recognize the few people that do support you, you're still, there's a tiny air of dismissal, because they're not at the disposal that you sometimes feel you need them to be, because they have lives that keep them separate from you. They have lives separate from you, and they're full lives just as your life is full, and so they're not always accessible to you. And so you have moments when you feel you really need them and they can't be there for you. And in that moment is when you start to feel like you don't have that connection, and you long for that connection, for someone who would be more accessible for you, to feed you and fuel you and nurture you and fill up that emotional cup that you have, so you can continue being the giver that you are. So I feel like that's where you are in your world. It's your physical world is very heightened emotionally right now. And that's kind of, and I don't know what it was specifically that brought on this thought process, but definitely, like I said, I feel that you do have moments that even when you recognize the support you have, you still kind of slightly dismiss them because they're not as accessible, especially when you're going through moments when you feel you need them, and you have no issue with them. You're not holding it against them. You're just kind of having that moment of facing reality, but you're allowing reality to come across harsher than it is because of the emotion that you are in. You're in your physical world, your world as you know it right now is very filled emotionally for some reason, and so your reaction is very emotional, and that's how come you have that state of feeling you don't have support, and then therefore that longing for someone who was more accessible for support and love for you. Mentally, we have Ace of Pentacles, and I feel that you have the potential of going somewhere with this. You're going to get something from this experience, and I think it's because even though you do have moments where you dismiss the support you have, every time you go round and round in this in your head, you're planting these seeds of recognizing what you do have and what you don't have, and what you want to grow from it, what you want to gain from it. And this is not, I don't feel this is going to be a quick revelation. I feel this is going to take most of the month of August for you to work through. So you're going to be going through this mental cycle of support. No, I don't have support, but I do have support, but it's not enough support. This is the support I really want. But every time you go around in this in your head, you're going to be refining the details. And if you lead the thoughts, don't let them lead you. If you lead the thoughts, I feel that you're going to create a new garden for yourself, for growth, and how you can find a way to nurture yourself, how you can find a way to be that connection, and what connection that you are personally, individually missing, that can feed and fuel you, so that you can find that support that you look within yourself. And I feel that that is kind of where you're at. That's the lesson that you need to be learning, is how you can indeed feed and empower and strengthen and support yourself, that you don't need this other person. You are enough. And it's just a lesson that you're going to be going through this process mentally regarding the emotional status of things right now, that's going to allow you to plant these new seeds and grow from them. Will you not want a connection by the end of August? Probably not. Because we all want connection. Like, I don't think that very many people honestly don't go through life without wanting that kind of really deep connection. So I don't think that longing is going to be completely gone, but your perception of it and how it helps you or hinders you, you're going to have more clarity of it. And the seed's going to start, the beginning is going to be planted because of your continual thinking regarding this. And your ability to recognize the support you have and how much it does help you, and then recognize how much you help yourself. But I think that's your biggest thing for this month. And that's one of the reasons why the universe is saying, yes, we know you're tired of waiting, but you know, honestly, it's actually better for you if you do, because there's some things that you need to learn about yourself. There's some things that you need to accept about yourself. There's some things you need to embrace about yourself. There are some things that you need to recognize that you are enough for yourself. And so I think that this whole process is going to kind of begin planting those seeds and beginning in that growth. And I think some of that clarity is going to happen very slowly and gradually. It's going to be little by little, and you're not going to notice. But by the end of the month, in hindsight, you're going to see how it all has come together and given you this new thought process. So emotionally, we have strength, and I feel that this isn't where you are. This is more of where you have a potential of being, and I think it has to do with how you settle into realizing that you are where you're supposed to be, and you just need to hold on, just wait, be patient, work with what you have, get to know yourself better. Emotionally, you can recognize how you can be your own strength. That depletion that they're feeling because you feel like you always are giving to other people when you're not giving to yourself in return, I think it's kind of letting you know that's because there's a part of you that as much as you're giving to yourself, you are not giving to yourself as much as you could be. You're not loving yourself as wholly as you could be loving yourself. You're not healing yourself or allowing yourself to be or become as much as you should be. There's a part of you that's holding out on you. And it's something that you need to work for, because the more whole that you are, and the better you are as far as recognizing and embracing who you are fully and completely, not only is there more of you to give to other people, but there is a stronger version of you that is able to accept whatever it is that you're going to have as far as future connections. And those connections are going to be stronger because you're stronger. So it's just something, I think that it's hard because it's not the answer you want, but this is where you're at. So I think that the strength emotionally is recognizing how strong you are and working with what you have and finding out how you can work with that. And that's just kind of the emotional energy that you have as you transpire. My mind just went blank. As you move through the month of August. Spiritually, we have 5 of Cups, and I feel that, again, this is connected to why you have gotten the 3 of Wands as your current energy. Like I said, I don't feel that this is your current energy. This is not how you feel. You are not patiently waiting for things to come before you start acting on them. You don't feel that you are at a precipice. This card here, the 3 of Wands, was basically the universe, spirit, the great divine, however you want to perceive it, letting you know, we know that's how you feel. And it's kind of a way of saying, we're not doing anything about it because it's not supposed to be done. They're just saying, we know that's how it is. But I feel that as a result of this, if you refuse to accept this, we have the potential of having the energy of 5 of Cups through the month of August spiritually. And that's just feeling like you're not connected, feeling a little bit of a spiritual disconnect, and having adding to the emotional status as a result of it. And I think that the biggest thing is that, remember, whenever you start to feel that there's been disconnected, and if you feel like you've been, I guess for lack of a better term, forgotten, when you start to feel like you're experiencing some spiritual losses, I think you're supposed to remember, nope, you're right where you're supposed to be. I think that's one of the reasons why the Three of Wands is where your current energy is. It's just letting you know, no, don't beat yourself up. Don't create emotional drama. Sorry, that was a harsh word. But don't create emotional drama over how you're feeling spiritually, because you're starting to perceive that you have a loss or a disconnect. No, you're where you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be waiting. It's okay. You've got work to do, because you're supposed to be strengthening your emotional resolve of yourself. You're supposed to be embracing yourself. You're supposed to be accepting the fact that you are enough. And so as a result of it, you're right where you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be waiting. Nothing's supposed to be happening right now. So whenever you start to feel that Five of Cups, that moment of feeling disconnect and that a loss, and you start to attach to your emotional state with your spiritual state, remember, nope, Three of Wands, you're where you're supposed to be. So the strength for the month is Judgment, and I feel that this is just letting you know that you need to rise above the cloud of emotions that is hovering in your world as a whole, to get better discernment. Don't allow yourself to reside in the emotion and the fog, the thickness that is there as a result of this swirling thought process that is going to create a vortex that you can kind of get wound and bound by. Your strength is going to be to rise above the fog and be able to look down, rise above it and have better discernment and see things from a higher, broader perspective, to see it as a whole, not just whatever storm may be brewing currently or around you. That is your strength, to be able to, like I said, I think you gotta get yourself out of it, out of the thick of it, and get a broader perspective and get better discernment on all of it, so that you can move from here and gain from it what you're supposed to gain from it. And it just goes back to that strength, recognizing that you are enough for you. Possible obstacles, the Knight of Wands, and I just feel like your obstacle is going to be too much thought, not rising above it, but staying in the thick of the emotion of it all and thinking about it, and then getting wrapped up in the emotion of it, and then that's going to control your thoughts. And the more you think about it, the more emotions are going to happen, and the more the emotions happen, the more you think about it, and the more you think about it, the more the emotions are going to come as a result of it. And eventually it's going to want you to start to act on it somehow, some way. Create the connections that you desire. Look for things that aren't there, or look for things until you do find them, whether they're there or not, and make them come to fruition, so that you can see, so you can move, because you're tired of waiting. You're tired of waiting. So it's just this, again, a vortex, this emotional vortex that you're going to find yourself in if you're not really careful. And it's going to start impacting your thoughts, and like I said, then they're going to just be tangled up in each other, and it can just add to more of the storm that's going to be brewing. And you got to get out of it. You got to rise above it, rise above the storm, and see from overhead, and get a broader picture and better discernment of regarding all of that, so that you can move on. And most especially, you can realize that you are enough for you. Potential. If you, and I feel that this potential is, if you don't allow the emotional status to create too thick of a fog, if you rise above it and get discernment, if you don't get overwhelmed by feeling like you're disconnected, and realize that you are where you're supposed to be, so that you can just patiently wait, and while you're waiting there for your ship to come in, that's bringing that loving connection, you recognize how you are strong enough and you are enough for yourself, you will get to the point where there'll be movement. Will there be a lover at the end of the month? I I can't say that for sure, but you're going to be moving in the right direction. All of that patiently awaiting, once you recognize what you're supposed to be recognizing, you'll be able to move, at least from this position, to the next step, whatever that may be. Closer, making the connections that are more fulfilling, recognizing the connections and the support that you have, and perceiving them for the support that they are. But most especially, I just can't help reiterating the fact that embracing the fact and recognizing that you are enough for you. If you follow all of this and utilize this energy to the best potential as you move towards the end of August, you're going to feel some movement. And I don't, like I said, I'm not saying that you're going to be finally leaving this embankment and crossing a field of flowers towards your lover, but I feel that there's going to be movement in the right direction, and you're going to be happy with the movement and the direction it's going. And a lot of it's going to be because, like I said, you recognize that you are enough, but you're going to feel the movement from this position and maybe getting back to feeling more stable where you were a couple weeks ago. So to finish up, I'm going to go ahead and pull a card. This is just kind of a wrap up or something that you can carry with you to work. Something that you can kind of repeat as a mantra maybe. Basically, if you think of this word, it'll help you to remember the key points that you need to remember them as you move through the month of August. Something to carry with you. Ego, shadow work. So I pulled this for somebody else this month too, but basically this is just letting you know there are parts of you that you need to work on. There are parts of you that you need to get better acquainted with. There are parts of you that you need to understand about yourself. And I keep saying it, but I feel like this is the biggest thing that you have to take with you from this particular reading for the month of August, is recognizing that you are enough for yourself. You can fulfill and heal and nurture and be enough and be all that you need for yourself. And I just can't help but reiterate and keep saying that, because I feel that that is a primary goal for you as you move through August, and you're going to find the capacity for this in doing the shadow work for yourself, working with that side of yourself that you refuse to see. And like I said, there's a part of you, at some point in the reading I said, there's a part of you that you aren't accepting or aren't recognizing or aren't working with or not embracing, and that is the part of you that you need to search out, because in that lies some of the answers that you seek, as far as trying to find that connection, trying to find that whatever it is that'll fill that cup of yours so that you can keep giving. Because like I said, you love to give, so you feel like you need someone to help fill your cup, emotional cup, so you have more to give. And you're just being told that you are enough, you provide enough for yourself. You just have to find that part of you that accepts that about yourself. All right, that is all I have for you for the month of August. I hope you have a wonderful month, and you gain what you need to gain as you transpire, so that the month can get some movement in it as you end August. And hopefully I will see you in September.